Hello everyone, Watch Us Review here with a look at the Retroaction DC Superheroes Two-Face. You know, the same Two-Face that said, I'm not going to pick it up, and yet here we are. So, nah. But yeah, I was in stores, I saw him on the shelf, he was the last one, and just took a close look at him, and I really liked the look of the head sculpt. And you know, he wasn't nearly as horrendous as I originally thought, but and part of it is, at the lower price, these things just seem like a bargain, so I'm more inclined to pick them up. I did resist the Aquaman, though. I mean, that was the only other one I was originally planning on picking up from this wave, and then when I saw it in stores, it looked the weakest of the other ones, so ironically, that's the one I left behind. But hold on a second, and I'll get him out of pack. I think Two-Face is the first character in the line not to be completely decked out in spandex. I mean, obviously, the next wave is Wonder Woman, who's basically wearing, well, not a lot of clothing, so. I mean, it's kind of interesting because you're able to get a closer look at the joints, whereas, you know, this other one's spandex boots, you can't really see the physical ball and stuff at the ankles, but here it is in all its bally glory. Also, I guess one of the whole things why I didn't really care too much for this character is the fact that the clothing looks kind of baggy on him. It's not all that really skin tight and everything. Well, not necessarily skin tight because it's a suit, but it looks like the suit's like a size or two too big for him. The other thing, of course, is the fact that the tie doesn't seem to like ratchet on correctly, but it's a really nice head sculpt. I mean, it's possibly the first head sculpt that I've seen for this line where I'm like, yeah, that's a really, really awesome head sculpt. Although, you know, I did like Lex Luthor in his entirety. I mean, the head sculpt, you know, just didn't really have this whole dynamic look to it as this one does. Where, you know, it really nails the whole character and everything. Now, originally when I was looking at it, I was like, why isn't his hand green and stuff too, where a lot of incarnations of Two-Face has like the entire left side of the body scarred, but this does kind of make more sense just because the acid was only really thrown on his face. So, I mean, not sure why the hand is scarred in a lot of the other versions then, but I guess he could have been blocking it. But if you look at it, you know, you do have a pretty clear line of symmetry. You have one black shoe, one brown shoe, half purple side, half orange side. It's a kind of nice shade of orange too. Looks sort of like the well, a deeper shade than like say a prison jumpsuit or whatever. And the vest, which like clips in with these little buttons and stuff, which are the same dividers they use on the back of the costumes from some of the other ones. Opens up and you'll see that he has a blue and white shirt, which is neat, and a brown and gray tie, which is this really thin material that you can see through, and it's a little bit different. And that's like zipped on. So you can actually remove the clothing from the front of this one as opposed to the back. Not that I want to strip down Two-Face. I'm sure that's a lot of people's fantasies though. But yeah, I mean, the inner body is a somewhat cleaner fit. Although, like, when you're just looking at like this, you'll see the sew marks from where the Velcro is. Whereas when the outer jacket's on him, it just looks a little bit bulky. Just something of a downside. Also, like, the legs in this one just don't feel like they're as cleanly in as on the other ones. This one just feels like it's kind of popped out or disjointed a little bit. But I mean, that's probably just a one-off, non-specific flaw. I'm not sure if all of them have this problem where the material just sort of folds up in the back, but that's definitely a little bit on the aggravating side. Now, I mean, prior to Two-Face, they kind of were mostly going for, like, Legion of Doom type characters, and even Wave 3 was all just Legion of Doom characters, but Two-Face was never on the Legion of Doom, which makes his selection for this a little bit awkward. I mean, logically, you think they probably would have gone with, say, a Joker for the Batman villain, even though Joker, again, wasn't on the... Well, he wasn't a regular member of the Legion of Doom. But, I mean, it really would have made more sense if they had picked, say, Scarecrow or Riddler. I mean, Riddler also would have just been an epic choice, but I guess I do appreciate the fact that they went with a character who has a completely different look and dynamic. By the way, these pockets aren't real. Can't store anything in there. So, I mean, that's definitely a little bit on the neater side. I do wish they would have included accessories with him. They include accessories for some of the guys in the first wave, and he really could have benefited from, say, a pair of pistols or a Tommy gun or something, because, I mean, what's Two-Face without a gun of some sort? But, I mean, that's really my only really big complaint. Articulation-wise, we have a sort of ball-jointed wrist here, where we have the forward back motion in addition to the sides. Single joint elbow. You'll notice how the costume kind of crinkles there. Ball jointed shoulder, but you aren't going to get any motion just because he's wearing 2 layers of clothing. And I believe it's more the outer layer doing it that blocks it, so kind of just makes it a little bit more difficult. I think you probably can get it, but it's just not going to look great. Head only rotates. Again, great looking head. Now, although you have torso movement, again, it's kind of on that rubber band joint. It's sort of around the waist area. And you can also move around the waist, but it just snaps back into place. There's really not a lot of point. You'd have to do something to hold it. And then leg, ball jointed, but rubber banded as well. It's all through that central rubber band, which is kind of annoying. Knee is just a single joint, not affected by that. And then, again, ankle, ball joint, full range of rotation and up and down. Now, I mean, the one figure that I kind of do hope that they will introduce in the line is probably Penguin. I mean, I've seen the original Mego Penguin, which I might even pick up just because this line's kind of growing on me, but definitely really cool. I probably will try to kind of pick up the villains from this line, maybe. And Batman Rogues, definitely a must-have. Other than that, I'm not sure how many more I'll probably collect. But yeah, this has been a look at the DC Retroaction Superhero... Was it Retroaction DC Superheroes Two-Face? Yeah, it's got a lot of things going on there. But yeah, until next time, folks.